Ask not for whom the moon shines, the moon it shines for thee. Shines, it shines, it shines, it shines, it shines so merrily. Paul is not here. He died, I'm afraid to say. I'm afraid to say that Paul's dead. It's 2 in the morning here. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, Amelia. Appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it as well. How does a rule differ from a law in your mind, TJ? A law has a little bit more force behind it. Anybody can make a rule. Laws can only be made by those who can enforce them. Not all rules can be enforced. All laws can be enforced. I guess rules can be enforced to an extent, depending on the power of the person making the rule. A lot of rules are totally optional, even if people don't realize that they are. I mean, it's at some point the line gets a little fuzzy. Did I get LASIK? Yes, I did. In these glasses. Thing but an accessory. It used to have lenses in them that I used to need to see, but I don't need them anymore, so. Stop watching Jacqueline Glenn's sexy ass for this? Well, you shouldn't have done that. I mean, you should go back and watch her sexy ass some more. Definitely choose to watch Jacqueline Glenn's sexy ass over me. Now, if it's just her talking, then you might want to consider me. But if she's literally jiggling her ass about, then I think you should return to that stream, because I don't think I can offer anything quite so enticing. Is that a dryer banging in the background? No. Yes, I saw Jordan Peterson on Bill Maher. I did indeed. What do you think of the Ubermensch? Is it worth becoming? I don't think it's all that clearly defined. Well, Jacqueline Glenn got breast implants, so, you know, perhaps her next step should be butt implants. You know, she's already proven that that she's willing to augment herself for the sake of our pleasure. However it's framed. I don't know how she framed it. Maybe she's, it's about my empowerment. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But, you know, how about you get a nice, big, empowering ass as well? You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nihilism, huh? I mean, you'll notice that I reference Nietzsche quite a bit. I think that if you read, I'd say Beyond Good and Evil, probably be the one that most supplements what I wrote. Nietzsche's a little bit more verbose than I am. and writes in a slightly more difficult style. I tried to make mine a little bit more accessible to people. Nietzsche doesn't really consider accessibility as he's writing. So it's a little bit more difficult and challenging, but it's definitely worth it if you're hungry for that. Carlin, I mean, just watch a bunch of Carlin specials. There's a very nihilistic tone to those. Most of my nihilism comes from observation of the world, not reading of other nihilists. So, I'm not an avid reader. I actually probably have written more words than I've read, at least in terms of books, lately. I don't really find that I agree too much with a lot of other authors out there, so... Zarathustra's alright, but I think that I think Beyond Good and Evil is probably better for if you want a nihilism fix. Do I think nihilism is truth? Yeah. As I would define it, it's truth. Like we got ourselves a Rita. I mean, nihilism, just the dictionary definition, the rejection of all religious and moral principles, often in the belief that life is meaningless. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I don't think that, I don't see how anyone could argue with any of that. I mean, I guess I can if you're really vested in one of these entrenched belief systems, but I'm not. Frollo is the opposite of a nihilist. Frollo is a man prepossessed with a purpose and a staunchly religious being. Yeah, Frollo's not even close to being a nihilist. Couldn't even, I mean, he's probably about as counter to a nihilist as you could conceive of. Who do people think it's pretentious to view George Carlin? I assume you mean why. Why do people think it's pretentious to view George Carlin as a modern philosopher? I think they find it the opposite of pretentious. Typically, they typically think that, oh, well, he's just a comedian, so he can't be a philosopher. I mean, I tend to think that everyone is a philosopher. So I think that, you know, if you have a perspective on life, you're a philosopher, and everyone does, so everyone's a philosopher. It's just a matter of how good of a philosopher are you. I think George Carlin is a brilliant one. That's my perspective. I don't know. I don't think philosophy is an academic discipline. I think that it's been hijacked as that by people who are in love with the smell of their own intellectual farts. That's where my head's at. How is there no meaning to life if most people have personal meaning, though? Is personal meaning not valid meaning to you? It's just, I mean, we're talking about objective meaning here. I mean, when most people talk about the meaning of life, they're usually talking about some external thing that gives their life meaning. I mean, is in terms of people having personal meaning. I think I addressed this in the introduction to the book. If not the introduction, then in the first chapter. So, yeah, I have no objection to people finding their own meanings. Every person is a universe unto themselves. So, yeah, I mean, you can define your own meaning. You just You need to realize that it doesn't exist independent of you. Did you know I'm an intellectual? I did. I love that the Jordan B. Peterson character in my chat has a Ralph Wiggum nose pick avatar, icon, whatever the fuck those are called. Yeah. I actually enjoy the smell of my own farts. I mean, well, yeah, who doesn't? I mean, I don't know. I guess some people claim not to, but I do. I mean, you know. I can let out a horrendous fart, and just knowing it's mine, there's a pride there. But maybe that's just a symptom of my megalomania. I'm not on heroin. I'm the reason for the title of this stream being "Ask not for whom the moon shines, it shines for thee" is because I actually have here moonshine that I have been imbibing this evening. So, you know, it's a good time. Do I think empathy is something that can be learned? To an extent. To an extent. I think that in the sense of you can intellectually give yourself a philosophy of empathy, but I don't think you can learn to actually sympathize with other people's feelings if you have like a severe antisocial personality disorder. You're not going to be able to, you know, engender empathy in yourself. I mean, I don't think so anyway. But you can intellectually recognize, oh, this is how empathy works, and you can, you know, make up for, you know, that shortfall. I'm more interested in unlearning empathy. You know, it's very weird. It's like one of those grass is always greener things. I know a lot of people who have trouble with empathy. You know, people who are unempathetic kind of wish that they could experience empathy because they recognize that there's some fundamental piece of them that isn't functioning properly. And then there's a lot of people who are too empathetic that wish that they could just be rid of the burden of empathy. So I guess that it's one of those things where people always think the grass is greener on the other side. I think, other people got it better. I do like some surrealism. Must someone be well-read in literature or philosophy to be an intellectual? I mean, like, intellectual is just a label, just a word, and you know, it's like, how do you decide how it applies? You know, because, I mean, any dumb shit can claim to be an intellectual. There are people who are very well-read who are not very bright. There's people who are very bright who are not very well-read. You know, it kind of is like, oh, are you still an intellectual if you just have raw intelligence but you don't have academic discipline? I don't know. Just like, it kind of boils down to a bunch of semantic bullshit at some point, doesn't it? I don't actually like David Lynch, so. But, I mean, I could definitely like some surreal. Would you consider, like, Aqua Teen Hunger Force to be surrealism? Or would you consider that more absurdism? I mean, I was thinking more in terms of painting. I was thinking more about, like, Dali and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of art that I like that is, surreal. What is your problem with academia based on? I don't know that I have a problem with them. When did I say I had a problem? What do you mean? I'm sorry. Maybe my sense of humor is a bit impaired by the strange effects of this moonshine. I don't wish to lynch David Lynch. I just don't want to watch his films. I don't understand them. I'm not embarrassed to say that I don't understand them either. I mean, people are like, "Oh, you just don't get David Lynch." You're like, "You're right. I don't get him." It just seems like nonsense to me. Maybe there's something very deep and interesting going on, and I just don't. I'm not tuned into it. I mean, maybe that's possible. I'm fine with that. But whatever the case may be, I don't like it. So, sorry. Must you be a trained academic to be an authority on any particular subject? I mean, like, you know, if you were flying on a plane, you'd probably want a trained pilot rather than someone who just, you know, a philosopher of flight or something, you know? I mean, I think the same is true for a lot of things. A guy who really feels strongly that he can build a bridge is probably not as qualified as a trained engineer. I mean, it's just obvious. I've always considered myself an artist. I've never thought of myself as anything else. I mean, like, you seem to criticize the idea that philosophy has been academized, but what exactly are you pointing at? I believe it sets standards to some extent to allow communication. I think it sets standards in terms of philosophy. I think it's setting standards to limit communication and set up barriers for entry. Right? I mean, to say, oh, well, contemplations of existence belong only to this select group of people seems sort of ludicrous to act like anyone has dominion over that. Have you ever thought that maybe David Lynch movies don't need to be understood any deeper than surface level? Well, on the surface, they're dog shit. And when I point that out, people tell me about their depth and meaning, so I assume that they work better on a deep, meaningful level, but I just don't get them, so... I just don't care. Like, why are you determined that I should like David Lynch? I don't understand. I don't like it. You can like it. I don't care. What year did you drop out of high school? 2001? Yeah. 2001. PJ, how do you have the conviction, to be a great person of the world in spite of the world telling you you can't? I don't know. I mean, you just don't pay attention to what the world is saying. I don't really care what the world says. What's so hard to understand about Blue Velvet, though? Pretty straightforward. I've never seen it. So, what's more important to humanity, going to the stars or virtual reality? I think that it's vitally important that we escape this planet, so I guess going to the stars. It was actually I remembered where I was on 9/11, and that's actually how I remembered what year I dropped out. I was like, oh yeah, because then a few months later, 9/11 happened. So then I was like, oh, it must have been 2001. Is it okay to bang a prostitute? And which country is the best? I don't pick favorites in terms of countries, and I think it's absolutely fine to bang a prostitute, you know. Like I said in my recent chapter, you know, I don't believe in the prohibition of prostitution, so. When do you think it will be somewhat acceptable to make fun of 9/11 in movies and TV? To me, it was acceptable on 9/12/2001. Should ever take ourselves so seriously that we can't make fun of something? What books should I read, or you recommended that I read? You should just read mine. Worst TNG episode. Some of the shit with Counselor Troy's mother is pretty insufferable to me. What is the best argument for God's existence? Well, here he sits. A project for a new American century. Okay. This TJ is weird. Have a Red Bull and go back to calling us autists. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not your servant, sir. This is the stream that we're having tonight. If it makes you uncomfortable, I suggest you leave. Low energy, TJ. Do a weed and unleash the tisms. What? I have no objection to Troy's mom. I can't remember her name. I have no objection to her as a bit character, but there's a few episodes that actually focus on her that, to me, are just beyond ridiculous. Emmanuel Macron is the best leader, and I know leaders. Believe me. Okay. Have you ever considered shooting a firearm? Sure. I've considered it. I've just never had an occasion to do so. Waxana. That's a difficult name. Whoa. Ha. Moonshine, TJ. Literally just started watching this channel and I love it so far. Take my money. You're welcome. I enjoy your presence here, Tide Pod Fucking Queen or Queen Tide Pod. Sorry for my dyslexia. Am I seeing what you're writing? Yes. You should be able to see it too. It should be appearing on the screen. Stupid YouTube, I just got the alert. Well, at least you got it eventually. TJ, are you with me? I am indeed. Love Chapter 2, TJ. Not only was it thought-provoking, it was downright inspirational. Well, thank you. What kind of moonshine is it? I don't know. It's got like strawberries and shit in it. It's really super sweet, but it's also super burny. So, I don't know. I sent Kyle the chapter. He said he was going to make a video response to it. That's all he said. He didn't say if it was going to be a positive response or a negative response or whatever, but he said he would give me some sort of response, so I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. Do you think people will complain about Black Panther not getting enough screen time in Infinity War? Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. They just want more and more Black Panthers. If it like they won't be satisfied unless it's Black Panther Infinity War. Are you purposefully ignoring my comments? No. I would never do that. Don't think so little of me. Ask not for whom the moon shines, the moon... EJ, be quiet. Why do you need his attention so bad, lol? I don't know, he asked to see the chapter when I wrote it, so... I sent it to him when I wrote it. This music is, once again, the horror playlist by Kevin MacLeod. It is on YouTube. Who the hell is Avicii? Stopped in to say your title reinstated my love of the natural world around me and the beauty it holds. Thank you, you beautiful, blessed man. Well, you're welcome. Estas, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't speak whatever language that is. Liked chapter. What do you disagree with Nietzsche about? Also, read Schopenhauer. Nietzsche, the thing I disagree with Nietzsche about, if he intended eternal recurrence to be literal, then I don't agree with that, or I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't agree with all of Nietzsche's opinions about women. I don't agree with the idea that like Nietzsche's most quoted statement of that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I definitely don't agree with that. You know, there's a few little nitpicks. It's the general gist of what Nietzsche said I'm trying to build on. So how fast do I write? I think at a pretty reasonable rate. I don't know. I can crank out. Probably takes me about an hour to write 1,000 to 1,500 words of script or book or whatever. Getting about 10 screen time, speaking time. Any weird dreams lately? Please say yes. I love hearing about your nocturnal adventures. I've had very dreamless nights as of late. I don't really remember what my dreams have been. Bet you wish you had that high school diploma. Literally never once in my life. Would you allow me to take your skinned animal's dream and turn it into a novella? You can do whatever you want. I don't think I have the intellectual property rights to a dream that I had. Feel free. Did you hear about that YouTuber that's in big trouble for putting toothpaste in an Oreo and giving it to a homeless man? Yes, I did, and I think that it's appropriate that he be in trouble. However, I think it's sort of strange that everyone is outraged that a homeless person is being mistreated, and no one is outraged that homeless people exist in the first place. Strange to me. Maybe do something about the underlying issue of people being homeless. I don't know. What is the most amount of salsa I've ever eaten? I don't know. Not that much. TJ, to what end a child be guided and disciplined? I'm not a parent. I don't know how children should be raised. I have no experience in that area whatsoever, nor do I want any. So it's one area that I don't think I can give much advice. My only advice is don't allow your children to be a menace to the public. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, it takes actual effort to solve homelessness. It takes no effort at all to condemn some dude who mistreated one homeless person. You know, anybody can be like, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. Actually addressing the underlying issue, that's too tough, too hard. My favorite lunch meat sandwich. Good turkey sandwich is pretty nice. My breath right now probably smells like alcohol and strawberries and maybe a little bit like cigarettes. Please check Streamlabs. Thank you. I will. All right. I met a homeless young woman outside of a store. She had 2 kids and was pregnant with another. She was begging for food, and I felt bad for the kids, but I was also a little pissed off at her. I don't know why I felt that way, TJ. What would you have done? I think that I'd have been a little angry, too, that she keeps bringing children she can't feed into the world when she apparently can't even house and clothe herself. You know, seems irresponsible. And who's laying all this fucking pipe, dude? Who keeps banging this homeless chick? Jesus. People would rather band-aid the homeless issue and focus on wedge issues like abortion and identity politics. Yeah. People don't want to focus on anything that matters. It's not. Apparently it costs less to provide every homeless person with basic housing and necessities than to just leave them on the street. Well, yeah. They're a total drain on society. They're a danger, and they're in danger. I mean, there's so many problems caused by homelessness. It'd be so easy to solve the problem by just making sure that every human being has a basic, you know, like, I'm not saying that we should give them mansions or something, but, you know, give them a fucking a roof and a fucking bed and shit, you know. A little stipend to fucking send them some fucking government cheese. I don't know. Man, cheese sounds really good right now. If you became rich, would you still do YouTube videos in your pastime to avoid boredom, or would you just give up making videos completely since you no longer have a need to? I think that my need to make videos is something that goes beyond a monetary need. So I think that it's pretty likely I'd still be making videos, whether I needed to or not. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. There's an Alice Cooper song called Lost in America that kind of sums up the problem you're talking about. Skinny. I've never had a bad trip. I enjoy all my trips. Would you have rather been born a woman? I don't think so. But I really don't know. Not something I've really thought about, I guess. One of the things that always confused me about transgender people, the whole dysphoria thing. I'm not saying I don't believe that they experience that. I just don't understand it from, because in my perspective is like, I wouldn't really care if I was a girl. If I'd been born a girl and lived as a girl, I don't feel like I'd be like, oh man, I just really feel wrong. I just feel like I'd accept it and be like, okay, yeah, I'm a girl, whatever. But I don't know. Maybe that's totally wrong. Maybe I'd just be like, oh my God, where's my penis? Where's my penis? Sometimes I feel that way already, so, you know. The superfluous stuff like sub count mean much to you at all? I ask because even though it doesn't affect me, it bothers me that your content is dropping despite the quality being totally fine. No, I don't think, I mean, sub count really is not a very important metric. It's more about views and stuff. And my views are not the fucking greatest in the world, but they're definitely not horrible. But honestly, the most important thing of all is just the level of commitment from the fans. And I think that, you know, when we have a Patreon that's sitting at over, you know, 2,300 patrons and just blowing our expectations out of the water, it shows us that there are people who really care very deeply about what we do. So I have no complaints in that department. You know, I think that as long as you're like, I would feel like if you're a YouTuber, where you'd start to feel like a success is when you're getting maybe, you know, if you're getting around 3,000 or 4,000 views a video or something, you can at least I think you can say, yeah, that's respectable. That shows that there is a contingent of people that are receptive to what I have to say. Getting 10 or 20,000, that's even better. You're getting, you know, 40 or 50,000, that's great. You're getting 100,000, brilliant. You're getting, you know, if you're one of these YouTubers that's fortunate enough to get these crazy numbers, then obviously that's great. But I think anything, you know, if you start getting around 3,000 or 4,000 views a video consistently, that's a pretty good place to be. You're not gonna be able to live on the money you make from that, probably, but I think that's a level where you can have some self-respect. Like, yeah, I'm actually able to attract an audience. You know, with all the stuff that's on this site, some people chose to watch this that I'm putting out, and they're doing it consistently. I think that's a pretty good place to be. But that's just my totally subjective benchmark. I mean, you could maybe, I mean, there's people who could probably be happy with 200 people watching them, or, you know, or that won't be happy until there's 200,000 or whatever, you know, so who knows? Am I lying on a bed? No, I'm sitting in a chair. I don't get you sometimes. What happened to Pitch Wars? We have some in the pipeline. You look more respectable tonight. Okay. I guess, you know, a lot of people have wondered, like, why is he losing subscribers and why are views down? I thought it was the adpocalypse because it coincided with that pretty perfectly, but maybe it was all about the glasses. Maybe it's like, oh, he's not wearing glasses. Fuck this guy. We thought he was smart. Now we see he's a dumbass. Bring the glasses back. You standing on the roof? You caught me. You fucking got me, dude. Glasses gate. TJ shoved his own glasses up his ass. It was beautiful. Oh shit, sorry. Hope I'm not on probation for being the suspected snitch because I'm a reformed SJW-ish lib, now left populist. Support y'all always. What? I don't know what you're saying there, but I don't know who you are. I've definitely never considered you to be a snitch. I don't know. I don't know who you are. Do. Pardon me for one moment. Achoo! Achoo! My bad. What do you think of right-wingers who say the left can't meme? They can't either. No one can. Memes are terrible. Did you know bananas are perfectly round? I did not know that. I did not know that. You, sir. Thinking. Pick me up from school. No. Walk home from school 40 miles through the snow like my parents used to. Your sneezing is weird. I'm sorry. I apologize. Ooh la la, intellectual TJ tonight, or the laser eye reverted. Whoa. No, I definitely put these on to convey that I am a sophisticated intellectual. So yeah, definitely. I am drinking the intellectual's chosen drink. I speak, of course, of moonshine. I'm smoking indoors against the policy of the household. So you know, it's how it goes. I'm not a fan of stealth games. I am not a stealthy person. I tend to barge in, guns blazing. I don't think you can compare a tobacco law to Jim Crow. I mean, but I don't know. Nothing says high IQ like bad sight. It's true for some reason. I don't know. It sounds ridiculous, but people do make that association. I mean, whether you like a meme is kind of the same as whether you like a joke. You have to agree with something about the premise of the joke. If you don't agree with the premise, you're not going to like the joke because it's not going to ring true to you. There has to be some truth and humor, you know. And there has to be something you recognize about the joke as, oh, that's the kernel of truth in the joke. And if you're looking at an SJW meme, chances are the things that they think are true, their assumptions that underlie why they think the joke is funny, you're not going to concur, so you're just going to think this is just tone deaf and weird and stupid, you know. And they would think the same thing looking at some right wing meme that you think is fucking hilarious, or you know, not you, but you know, a right winger would. Oh, Pepe the Frog, isn't that funny? No, it's not funny. It's stupid. Personally, I just don't like memes as a format, so whatever. I prefer a good knock-knock joke. When's the knock-knock joke meme gonna be? Teaches that truth rule apply to fart jokes? Well, yeah, it applies to all jokes. Across the board. SJWs are to memes what dad jokes are to comedy. Well, I love dad jokes, so I don't agree with that at all. Did you ever have an imaginary world as a youthful individual? Yes, I did. I had an evil twin named JT that was my nemesis. And we each controlled our army of video game characters and stuff. So we would battle them. Knock, knock. Who's there? Who's there? Tell you a dad joke. Okay. I've told this one before, but it's my favorite of these types of jokes. And I've never had an encyclopedic memory of jokes, so you'll have to forgive me if you've heard it from me in the past, but did you hear about the psychic midget that escaped from prison? Yeah, he's a small medium at large. But, there's a dad joke for you. I tend to make up my own dad jokes. I don't ever really pass up an opportunity for a bad pun if I see it. Dude, I'll never forget this time. I was at a dinner with some people, and they were like, I bet you can't name every country. I was like, I bet you I can. Like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And so I started being like, I'm going to name this one Brad. I'm going to name this one Carl. I just started cracking up laughing at my own terrible joke. And this girl that was there looked at me and she was just like offended by how bad the joke was. She's like, TJ, that wasn't funny. I'm like, damn, bitch. You cut me to the core of my being just now. But the fact that it was like that made it even more funny. So I started laughing harder. Like, you know, I like bad jokes. Dad jokes and bad jokes, which are usually the same. That is funny. I think it's funny. Fuck them. You know, if, the primary purpose... one thing I definitely agree with Andy Kaufman on, the primary purpose of a joke should be to amuse yourself, not others. You know? I don't know if that's necessarily the best approach for success, but, you know, that's still my philosophy of jokes. Do you as an entertainer, per se, feel threatened by Paul's ever-increasing comedic abilities? No. I think Paul's funny. I would never... I don't allow myself to feel insecure about something like that. I think that the more Paul develops his comedic abilities, the more I'm just like, yeah, cool, Paul. I'm glad he's on my side. Have you heard any good counterpoints that you can recall from Peterson fans? They seem to engage in a lot of sophistry when, well, I mean, look at their mentor. No, I haven't heard anything interesting from them yet. Maybe I will. Mitch Hedberg is great. Was great. The same rule about jokes applies to music. The best musicians make music because they want to listen to it. Yeah. On a scale from 1 to 10, how hot do you think you are? I don't know. Not I mean, I don't know. I mean, my perception is probably warped. I think it almost certainly is by my narcissism, my egotism. What did the buffalo say when his son left? Bye, son. I get it. Damn, dude. What's my favorite Mitch Hedberg joke? You know, the problem with me trying to deliver a Mitch Hedberg joke is that only he can make his jokes funny. His delivery is so integral to it, but he made a joke about when he thinks of something funny, he either has to, and he realizes that pen is far away, so he either has to get the energy to go get the pen, or he has to convince himself that what he thought of wasn't that funny in the first place. Really, really funny joke. Another comedian that has that same sort of deadpan delivery that I really like is Stephen Wright. Where were you on 9/11? I was sleeping in my bed. Hot Pockets. Isn't 9/11 a hoax? Yeah, that never even happened. It was all a hologram. I'm a Jordan Peterson fan, but for his psychological lectures, and also he's an important political voice here in Canada. Well, I don't begrudge anyone for having people they listen to. I don't really get him, but I was thinking about moving to Moscow, but there's no point in rushing into things. Damn, dude. Look that up, TJ. Look what up. Cold Pockets are the pinnacle of comedy. You, sir, are a hack. I know. This is a real shame. I wish I could have come up with Cold Pockets, dude. I was just jealous. Jealous of the genius of Cold Pockets. Why do you think the depression rate is so high right now? Because no one can even fucking be themselves anymore. No one can even express their true opinions. There's no, and we live in such a confined world. People don't really feel free to be what they are, so of course people are going to be depressed. How many bitcoins do I have? I have some investments in cryptocurrencies, but I don't think I have an entire bitcoin. Most of I can tell you my fucking portfolio or whatever. I won't tell you exactly how much I have in each currency, but I'll tell you what currencies I have investments in. I have some money in, yeah, Bitcoin, obviously. I have some money in Nano. I have some money in Steam. And I have some money in Ethlend. And I have some money in a coin called Electra. I actually have quite a bit in Electra. Jordan Peterson's representation of trans laws was less accurate than an Alex Jones show. I keep hearing that. I've yet to investigate that issue. I really should, since that's what got him super famous. I mean, I wouldn't... I don't need to I'm not going to panic sell anything. Buy low, sell high. When will Scotty leave your shadow? Oh, he's confined to the shadow forever. There's no escaping it for him. Dumb kid is no match for me. Damn. You gonna take that, dumb kid? Favorite bands of the 2010s? I don't know. I keep hearing people trying to push Silver, so... Do you consider yourself living in the present moment conceptually? Yes. Buy high, sell low. Damn, I never thought of it that way. It's just bold enough to work. Do I miss Stevie? I don't have to miss him. He's not that far from me. Born to be wild. Hey TJ, just the man I was looking to see. What's the intro song from the latest Abandon Hope? Isn't it the same intro song for all the Abandon Hopes? It's I don't remember what it's called. How about this, right? It's called Chain of Events by John Allen. Allen is spelled weird, but it's something that's part of I think it's something from the Epidemic Sound Library. So it's not necessarily something you're just going to find commercially available. What would you do if I sent $500 in a stream? I would be grateful for it, I guess. I'm not gonna, I don't know. What would you want me to do? TJ, have you seen Cosmos? Teaches a good baseline understanding of physics and biology while also being a visual spectacle. I prefer the Carl Sagan one. I just like Carl Sagan's hosting abilities better than Neil deGrasse Tyson's. My favorite season 3 episode of Rick and Morty. Let's look at the episode guide real quick. Probably the Rick Lantis mix-up.
Fuck you, asshole.
Did you ever really cook those Blue Apron meals? Yeah, I cooked a couple of them. They turned out pretty well, honestly. I mean, I'm no longer being paid to shill for Blue Apron, but I mean, you know, if you want something that's like, you know, if you want to cook at home and you want it to be easy, and you know, it's pretty good. Definitely better quality than you'd get eating like a fucking frozen dinner or something. Way better. I feel like I might puke. Should I take the day off? Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you feel sick. For whom the bell tolls. Do you think the universe is the clockwork of a larger machine or just pointless matter? Why can't it be both? Neil deGrasse Tyson said that asteroid miners will be the first trillionaires. Your thoughts? I have no idea. He's probably much more capable of speaking on that than I am. I could cook that ass you just showed. I'd get all in those butt cheeks. Neat. Get all in them, buddy. Get all in them. Feel offended and I don't know why or what by. Help me, dog. Am I going mad? Maybe. Maybe you just need to take a break. I am going to step outside for a moment, but I'm going to leave you with a classic TJ Kirk video. Let's see, what's a good one that I could play that's old enough that it wouldn't be like, oh, this is too recent. Do, 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 do. Well, this is always good. I will return shortly.
It's time to take out the trash men in our lives. Are you talking about actual garbage men there? No, you're talking about men who are, of course, trash. And the hashtag is hashtag. By the way, remember when that used to be a number sign? Yeah, that used to be what we called it. The number sign. Now it's a hashtag. Well, I'm an old fuck. Hashtag say no to fuckboys 2K15. Ooh, yeah. Makes it sound like a video game. 2K15. And fuckboys. I thought fuckboys were like male sex slaves that, you kept in your basement. It's like, I just fuck you whenever I want, fuckboy. But no, apparently it has a different meaning to feminists like the article's author, Heben Nigatu. Friends, countrywomen, I have gathered you here today for a very important occasion. It is time to take out the trash. And there's this skeleton on the microphone saying, this next one is for all the fuckboys. Once again, I can't get over the term fuckboys, but we'll move on. In 2015, in the year of our Lord Oprah Gail Winfrey, let us remember that no is a complete sentence. And it is a complete sentence we should be lobbing at the trash in our lives. And then they got a gif of Oprah being like, no is a complete sentence. That's true. So is yes. So is sure. So is maybe. Lots of things are complete sentences that are only one word. It's not really that strange. In fact, any word can be a complete sentence if that word is the answer to a question. Like, what would you like on your pizza? Pepperoni. It's a whole sentence. Pretty much any word can be a complete sentence. So, that means nothing, basically. Number 1, say no to any fuckboy who thinks this is okay. And this is a girl on Twitter says, my friend just sent me this breakup message she received after 7 weeks of dating. My favorite reason for split is number 3. So this is a guy breaking up with his girlfriend, and he sent her this text message, and this is a list of reasons why he's breaking up with her. Number 1, you refuse to update your relationship status on Facebook. Yeah, that's pretty serious, man. Number 2, you won't include me in things like the wedding this weekend. I should have been the one to escort you. Okay. Number 3, you are rude to my cat, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. That's pretty serious business. Number 4, you do not share your time equally, and by now your boyfriend should be taking priority. Number 5, your swearing is very unladylike. Number 6, you won't disclose how many sexual partners you have had, which makes me think it's upwards of 3, and anything more than that is unacceptable. So it says no, say no to any fuckboy who think this is okay, but he's the one breaking up with her. So he's already saying no to her. This is basically just girls saying, you can't fire me, I quit. Okay, well, that's revisionist history. And as stupid as this guy's reasons for breaking up with this girl are, I would say she's better off because he sounds like an uptight jackass. But he's entitled to have his standard. If he wants to have that standard, then he's perfectly entitled to have it. Just as the girls who wrote the girl who wrote this article and the girls who agree with this article, and presumably some guys who agree with this article, they're all entitled to their own standards. Number 2, say no to babies. And this is an excerpt from someone's Tumblr. Hot Dad Calendar says, I'm actually concerned for boys who complain about how different girls look without makeup. Like, did you think eyeshadow permanently alters a girl's eyelids? Are you frightened when people change clothes? And then Wheat by X God says, babies have no concept of object permanence. And then Sister Judy Bo Booty said, that's one of the sickest burns I've ever read. Look, I would say that women wear makeup to enhance their beauty, to give themselves a better aesthetic appeal. So, yeah, just to point out, you don't look as good without the makeup that you wear specifically to look better than you actually look. I mean, it's just being honest at that point, isn't it? I mean, you wear makeup to look better, and you do. So, it's almost, you should take it as a compliment about the efficacy of the fucking makeup. Number 3, say no to the creepy male gaze. That's gaze, G-A-Z-E, not gaze, G-A-Y-S. Girl Fever says, I think breasts are great, and as a lesbian, they're something I find attractive, but like, I don't see a breastfeeding mother or a woman simply walking around and existing and having breasts as sexual, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know. Men are fucking creeps, basically. And then, someone says, in it. And then that queer chick says, co-fucking signed. So this is bullshit. I know this because I have lesbian friends, I have lesbian family members, and I know for a fact that they do gawk at people in public, and they will comment on the attractiveness of women in movies and shit like that. I remember one time I was watching a movie with my sister who was a lesbian, and she just could not get over how hot Scarlett Johansson was. So, I don't believe this to be true. I think that human beings in general, I mean, if you're in a horny mood, you're gonna fucking look at breasts in public and say, yeah, I'm turned on by that. You're gonna look at some girl's ass in public and be like, yeah, that also turns me on. If that's what you're into, is girls. It's not that there's anything inherently sexual about the breasts. The sexuality is within you. And don't say you're not attracted to people you see walking around in public, because of course you are. Everyone is. Unless you're just, one of these people that says you're asexual, then I presume that you're not. But short of that, yeah, you're going to have sexual feelings every once in a while by people you see in public. Number 4, say no to people who don't respect your space. Well,
Yeah, say no to them. Fucking non-space respecting pieces of shit. I guess I lost my glasses somewhere along the way. These. You should stream your entire video collection 24 hours a day. I've thought about it. Just don't know how I'd do it. I'd need like a little dedicated PC that was just running through them. Or like a laptop. Something. TJ sent you a super chat. Oh. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. I hope you're having a good night, TJ. I have not. I have thrown up 5 times since the beginning of this stream. Giving you money makes me feel better. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope you do feel better soon. Know what it's like to suffer through that kind of shit. Stream your shower 24 hours a day. What? When Black Panther was released, Disney was petitioned to donate 25% of their profits to the black community. Do you think this is fair? Who the fuck is, like, what? Split it amongst every black person? You know, send each one a penny? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that works. Just watched chapter 2. Loved it so much. Well, thank you. I've watched all of your videos at least 5 times. Wow. I don't even think I've watched all of my videos 5 times. Ever thought of DFF on Mike Tyson? That might be fun. DJ, you were rude to my cat. Oh, well, I apologize. I didn't mean to treat your cat unfairly. DJ, when can we expect your next appearance on The Biggest Loser? My entire life has been an appearance on The Biggest Loser. The thing that was great about chapter 2 is I didn't even mention Peterson once. My bait and switch is complete. DJ would bet that Lovecraft had Asperger's. Would you agree? I have no clue. Please take the black filter off. No, I will be leaving it on. Thank you for your input. DJ, if you were in Soviet Russia, would it do you? Yeah. I mean, that's how things work in Soviet Russia. My favorite variation on that joke, by the way, is in capitalist America, bank robs you. You mentioned Peterson in the thumbnail. That's not Peterson. That is Sam Harris. Would you ever do a DFF on a DP villain, or is that off limits? Yeah, we're not really focused on internet personalities with DFF. So I'd say it's unlikely. Do you have the AC blaring when you go to bed? Yeah, usually. I like to be a little bit uncomfortably cold while I'm trying to sleep. I find that it's more pleasant than being hot. I'd rather be a little too cold than even slightly too hot. Get out of here, Chelsea. I'll stay up as late as I want. Stay up till the end of time. Yeah, Detroit DFF might be interesting. TJ, around how many chapters do you predict your book will be? I think probably around 9 or 10. Poor Chelsea. She likes to sleep at night like some kind of normie. It's 3:25 here. I like watching you relentlessly mock people who are famous, but also colossal failures at their craft. I mean, if they're famous, they're not really failures. Just because I have objections to them doesn't, undo their accomplishments, but whatever. Does Chelsea share your views on moral relativism? Pfft, yes. Quit living in the past, TJ. Come to the 4 a.m. future. Well, I'll be there eventually, but by that time, you'll be way ahead of me. You'll be in the 5s. Yeah, what the fuck happened to Triggered? It was your most popular show. I don't know. The last time I did an episode of Triggered, I just didn't call it Triggered. I just did it and didn't slap that name on it, so I don't know. Yeah, Chelsea says she agrees with most everything in the book so far. What a sycophant. Chelsea's been helping me a little bit with it as well. Are you planning on printing the book as a hardback or paperback when you're finished and all the editing is done? Yes. I don't know if there'll be a hardback, but there'll definitely be a paperback. Why is Chelsea not a mod? She's not usually in here, but I guess I can do that. Makes sense. TJ is just Chelsea's Ghost Rider. Wouldn't it be the other way around? Are you the devil or Jesus? Do you ever expect a response from Peterson, or do you think he'll deign it to be below him? I think he'll definitely view it as below his need to respond to. But who knows? TJ, when it comes to touching one's butthole, how often is too often? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. Whoa, at Heideology throwing serious shade. Oh, is Heideology live as well? If faced with a choice, would you pick an orgy filled with hot, bodacious women or a grand feast filled with unlimited amounts of your favorite food? Women, obviously. time, Jesus. Oh, they're in the chat. T-gay jerk. Damn. Brutal. I'm not recovering from that. T-gay. Fuck. TJ, can you play games on stream like Fallout? I don't know if... I mean, I haven't done the whole gaming thing in a while, but it used to be that unless you were on a network, it wasn't really safe to stream gaming stuff, and I'm not on a network on this channel, so... I don't know how safe it is. I don't know if the things have changed since then. But who knows? Men and women, star, star, star. How brutally would you kill anyone who disrespects your woman? I don't know. I don't think I'd brutally kill them. What level of disrespect are we talking? It's scary sometimes to be out with Chelsea because she won't hesitate to talk shit to someone if they piss her off. So I'm like, man, you're gonna get me in a fight. Don't do this. Yeah, maybe I'll consider doing some game streams on here. She seems so passive in real life. That is the deception. TJ, are you with us? I am now. Moment the stream dropped. What was the last time you got recognized in public? 1776. If you do end up doing games, I recommend that Chrono Trigger gameplay you did a while ago. Okay. Have you watched Master of None? No, I haven't. Who is RIIICK? What is the dumbest argument you've ever heard against the exploration and colonization of Mars? The argument that always pisses me off is well, we've got to fix things here on Earth first. Like, okay, so basically set an impossible standard so that space exploration never happens, I guess. TJ, do you know if Howard Bloom agreed more with your side of things or Peterson's? I don't know. He actually, Howard Bloom has a quote on the dust jacket of Peterson's book. So I don't know. I haven't shown Howard my book yet. Maybe I'll send it to him and see if he's interested. Maybe he can give me some pointers or tell me where he thinks I might be mistaken. Brock Lesnar never stood a chance. Damn. Yeah, Howard destroyed Brock Lesnar. In the octagon or the wrestling ring. or the push-up arena. I am not a vegetarian or a vegan. The push-up arena, where men gather to do push-ups and have gay sex. Humans aren't from Earth. We all came here and took it over. We're the aliens. Damn. I'd love to see you do another video with Howard Bloom. Yeah, maybe I should see if he wants to join me on here one of these nights. Maybe Howard Bloom could be a special guest on this particular program. Just talk to the chat and each other. Have ourselves a grand old time. Mars seems like a shit place to live. Well, I mean, it depends on the extent to which you can terraform an environment and sort of resources and creature comforts you could bring. Do a fart, Howard. Do a fart. Maybe he will. The lack of people is a plus. TJ, maybe Howard Bloom can answer about the genocide in Yemen. Maybe. A little bit on the neoconish side, so we'll see what he even has to say about that. I will see Jordan Peterson late next month on his book tour. I hope it isn't a waste of time. I don't think it will be. Peace. Well, I think I'm going to get going. I think I just want to chill and not have to talk to people for a little while. Thank you guys for showing up. I will probably see you at some point tomorrow. Well, I'm going to be doing DFF tomorrow, but I'll probably tomorrow night do another one of these. I intend to do one every night for at least a little while. So, peace.